What's going on, guys? It is Tom and welcome back to a brand new video and a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode, and we are here for the beginning of the second half of the season, even though technically we've got the summer break coming up, but we're here for Hungary, and it's the last one before the inverted commas summer break, and we're currently just looking at the R&D screen and just sort of just messing around with the engine parts and trying to see what we can use in practice, and we're going to use these in practice and then switch them out for fresh ones for qualifying. We're going to run a completely new fresh components. Some of them are a little bit used, I believe, but basically we're going to be all on number 3 by qualifying. So we're going to try on a bit more of a competitive setup by then, but also gearbox wise, we've got a bit of wear on this one. This one is severely more worn than the last one. For some reason, the last one lasted a lot longer than this one. This one seems to be struggling quite a bit, and we still got to do this race here with this gearbox. So it's going to be tricky. Hopefully we can survive it, and hopefully the gearbox doesn't cause me too many issues, because we're going to have to survive this race with that gearbox. But hopefully it all works out for us, and we're going to crack on with practice. And so far we're putting away a really nice amount of resource points. I believe we've got around 12 to 1300 resource points. So once we get to around 1600, we can try maybe get a big upgrade in and try and bring in a couple of aero upgrades for Spa. And also Monza, especially Spa. I want to try and get an upgrade in there because it's important to really improve the aero, especially, Spa's a circuit that, yeah, sure, it's known for a straight line speed, but at the same time, the 14 is the third worst car for aero. So all these fast corners like Pouin and Blanchimont and Stavelot, you really want to try and be competitive around with a good aero package. So we need to try and prepare for that by putting away some aero points and R&D points here. And as you can see, we're kind of jumping into practice, and I don't know if you noticed on the bottom right, but we're already missing a gear. This is not the best way to start our weekend, but we've already lost a gear, and because of it I got a green track acclimatization. Luckily the gearbox issue went away, and for the tyre wear test we was able to have a full set of gears. However, it was very tricky. The engine was worn quite a bit, the performance was quite poor, and as you can see, we didn't even get it on the first attempt. On the second attempt though, we did manage to get the tyre wear test nailed down to a T and get the 50 resource points, and that was much better. But the first attempt was a bit of a struggle, and like I said, already losing one of my gears early on in practice was not the best situation. But jumping into now the tyre wear test, and the fuel saving test, and once again, the first attempt, not good enough. I was in the purple, but my lap time was terrible, so I had to go for another run, and the second attempt was much better, just like the tyre wear test, and we would actually improve and get a purple score there also. However, then, we moved into the qualifying performance test, and we encountered traffic in the form of Pascal Verlaine, and the AI still not improved on the blue flag situation, which is quite disappointing, because they're really, really poor on the blue flags to get away. I mean, look at this, Pascal's just holding me up, he's on an outlap, but we actually went for another attempt on the qualifying performance test, and we still were nowhere near a solid half second off, and that was my best attempt. We just was nowhere near the pace. The engine and the gearbox were just too worn, so I didn't even bother attempting the race strategy. I did one up on the race strategy, and I was like a few tenths off. I was absolutely miles off, so I didn't even bother. We're gonna have to scrap qualifying and the race strategy, and just get the new components in the car and jump straight into qualifying, because we was basically cleaning also the gearbox as well. I can't, if I had a newer gearbox, I would have just done practice 2 with the new components, but because my gearbox is worn also, I can't really do the extra running. I've got to keep the running down to a minimum, especially after the issues we had in practice 1 by missing a gear already. So there's a lot going on right now with the car, a few issues, but we have got the new engine components on the car now for qualifying, and this was my best lap of Q1. So we're going to focus on the lap now, currently in 5th gear through the final corner. We're going to see what we can do as we go through the gears now. DRS wide open down the pit straight, and so far we're off to a good start. We're going to spot the 100/50 meter board, break in between both more or less as a break point for turn 1. 3rd gear corner in turn 1 there, pretty good exit, nice bit of traction, open up the DRS, and so far it's a very nice clean start to the lap as we now go into turn number 3. Turn 2 was flat out, turn 3 4th gear, possibly 3rd. I prefer 4th gear to try and get the better traction out of the corner, and then flat out through turn number 4. And now we go into turns 5, which is a very interesting corner here, over the top crest, sort of a blind apex that feeds into turn 6, a long swooping right-hander. Stay off the curb on the right-hand side because it can upset the balance of the car, then try and bring the car out as we now go into the chicane for turn 7 and 8. A pretty good run through there, just missing the apex, and again a little bit wayward on the exit of 8 there as we now go into turn 9 through the S section. This is where you really need the downforce and the aero, and I'm running 11 wings for this one because I really want to try and be glued to the ground as we now go through the swooping right-hander. A little bit of understeer on this one. All weekend long I couldn't really get the setup countdown for that corner, and I was struggling a little bit through there in every single session, but currently about a second off Raikkonen's lap. Not too bad here in Q1 to open up our account as we go into the Plummet corner. Third gear through here, and then a short shift into fourth to try and pick up the traction on the exit. Use the curb and the pit entry to maximize your exit speed. Now into the final corner, fourth gear, possibly fifth. I like fourth, and open up the DRS, and then across the line. Let's see where that puts us in Q1 P9. So not too bad there, and a pretty good lap to open up our account. And the question is, will that lap see us through? Because look at this, as we go into turn 1, I've actually lost fifth gear. Literally, look at this. You'll see in the bottom right now, straight into sixth. So we actually lost the gears. So that was our only attempt in Q1. And unfortunately, we actually dropped into the drop zone. But because my gearbox was broken, I couldn't improve. So I was relegated to a Q1 knockout. I've decided that after this qualifying session, I'm going to put in a new gearbox. So I'm going to take a 5-place grid penalty, and we're going to drop to the back of the grid and start from last place in the race, because I can't be having this gearbox issues because I'm just using too much time, and it already ruined my R&D point system, and now it's ruined my qualifying. So we're going to stick on a new gearbox, and hopefully we can try and fight through the field with fresh components tomorrow in the race. So without further ado, we're going to jump into the race for the Hungarian Grand Prix and see if we can improve on 20th place. Okay, so here we are then for race day at Hungary, and we're starting from the back of the grid. As you would have seen, we are taking a we're taking a grid penalty, we're taking a gearbox penalty. I'm trying to get my words mixed up there, but we're taking a gearbox penalty because I thought to myself, you know what, I'm starting P17 anyway, so I might as well take a gearbox and start from the back, because my gearbox was having a lot of issues, and it obviously compromised my practice and it compromised my qualifying, and unfortunately I can't be having that because that's just, I'm just losing time and I'm just losing performance and points. So we're going to just get a new gearbox in the car, and hopefully with the now through remaining gearboxes we have, it should be okay now for the rest of the season, unless we have any sort of issues. But overall we can now focus on this race with a brand new gearbox, brand new engine components for the race, and we'll have brand new components for the next one in Spa. But I'm very much looking forward to this one. Hopefully we can try and have a nice sort of fun race fighting through the field. We got, I believe, mixed conditions expected, so a dry up somewhere in the middle of the race. So it's going to be very close based off a tyre strategy if we're going to go straight onto dries, or we may have to go for another set of inters. It's going to be right sort of on the cusp, based off of what we can see on the session forecast. Also, fuel-wise, I've overfueled slightly just to try and, be safe for fuel. But overall, I'm very much looking forward to this race, guys, and hopefully we can try and have it go on here today. So, without further ado, let's jump straight into it for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Right, here we go then. On the grid, last place is going to be basically a last two interrogation mark challenge. So 5 red lights, and it's going to be lights out, and away we go. Let's try and have a good race here. Pretty good start, actually, getting almost a jump on Pascal Wehrlein here. Just going to try and pick up some traction as we now make our way down into turn 1 for the first time this race. Lots of spray, lots of cars. We've got to be very careful as we go to the inside. We're going to try and pick up an inside line, take it very easy, try and keep our front wing in one piece. A little bit of contact with Ericsson there. Back end just went on me there. Oh, very close, just about missing the wall there. But right, we're having a few early issues here, so we're going to have to try and recover the back end, which is covered in grass. But let's try and get pointing the right way and try and recover. Okay, we've caught up to the cars again now, so now it's going to begin where we start making the moves. So let's try and pick all of these guys off one by one. So we're going to kick things off with Stoffel Van Dorn in the McLaren Honda. So let's try and make a move on him very soon. I'm going to try and set myself up for the final corner, taking a very wide entry to have a bit of a more quicker exit, and also just overall straight line speed down the pit straight. Here we go then. Nice bit of exit speed there. Nice run on Van Dorn. Just going to pull to the inside, and it should be a fairly comprehensible overtake there on the Belgian. And there we go. We just tuck back in for slipstream. But I'm going to go back up the inside of Pascal by the look of it, as he's breaking very early into turn 1. I'm going to just run out a little bit wide, squeeze him out, and there we go. Another position gained up in the P18 now. Let's try and chase after Marcus Ericsson in the Sauber, who won't have much downforce in that car. So we should be okay to try and get. I mean, we ain't got a lot of downforce to be fair anyway. Our aero is pretty poor, but I've got a solid amount of resource points saved up, which I should be spending for the next race in Spa to try and upgrade my aero, because I'm going to need a good aero package around Spa, especially through the corners, especially the fast ones like I pull on. So overall, I've got a plan in mind, but right now let's see if we can get past Ericsson here, which shouldn't take too long, I don't think, because I feel pretty good early on here in these conditions. I'm just trying to adapt. Ericsson's actually locked up, I think. He's running a little bit deep. That's opened the gap for me, and I just go around the outside and make it work. So there you go. Nice little cheeky move on Ericsson. Just capitalised on his lock-up into the chicane, and there we go. We're now up into 17th place. Okay, so the rain's going to clear up in about 10 minutes, so I reckon that should be enough to goes straight into the dries. My tyre wear isn't that bad, just the rears I've got to keep an eye on, but I don't think it's going to warrant another pit stop for Inters. So right now we've got the pace, just did a personal best. We are catching these guys, and I'm actually quite impressed. My pace is pretty good. We could be, I say we could be, I'd like to be in the top 10 by the time we switch over to dries. I don't know if that'll happen or not. We've got a good chance for it though. We have got a good pace, so at least I want to be near my teammate, because I want to try and pit ahead of him, so that way I've got the priority of pitting for dries first, because if OCON comes in before me, that's going to screw me over in the pit stops. So let's try and make some moves here. We're right behind Kevin Magnussen, and I think we should be making a move soon, because I've got the pace on him, but the back end is very tricky around here today. I don't know what it is, the back end just not wanting to really stick for me. Maybe the setup is not really working for me in these conditions, but either way, here we go. On to K-Mag now. We've had a good exit out of there, and we've got a nice little bit of toe. I wonder if we can go for a dive into turn 1 here on the brakes. Are we brave enough to go for a Ricardo-esque dive? We're going to have a look, and I think we're going to go for it here. Up the inside of turn 1 on Kevin Magnussen. He loses the room, and we made the move stick there quite comfortably up into P16. And now, let's chase after Fernando Alonso. Okay, to the final corner, I'm going to take a very sharp, narrow, shallow line here to try and set myself up, get nice and close to Alonso. Nice, solid exit out the final corner. This should be a fairly simple move on Alonso. Fastest final sector, actually, so there you go. Just goes to show us some pretty good pace there. And here we go up the inside of Fernando Alonso into turn 1. It's a comfortable move, and we're now up into 15th place. We've got Ocon there in 13th, and a little train of cars being formed. So I wonder if someone up ahead's got an issue, because they are dropping off the pace slightly. So I think something's going on here, because someone's going very slow up the front of this train. So we might have an opportunity here to get past some of these guys if we take it very easily and make our moves very smartly and intelligently. Okay, through the final corner now, right on the back of Kvyat here. We're going to try and set ourselves up. We're going to get the rich mixture prepared. So here we go out the final corner, squirt the traction on, crank up into rich mix, and now let's try and make a move here on the Russian, picking up a toe. Look at this, we actually got some decent straight arm speed for a change. The new engine component's really paying off. Up the inside of Daniel Kvyat, and let's try and bring it down for the apex. He's still on my outside, to be fair to him, so I'm going to leave him in the room, but there we go. We just out traction him, and we made the move, and we're up into P14. Esteban Ocon is next, and right now I'm very surprised. Like I said, someone's holding his train up, and it's allowing me the opportunity to make the moves here, so let's see what happens. But right now it seems the train's now starting to stretch out again, because maybe that person at the front started to find some pace, but right now I'm liking that pace, and the wet conditions are going to end soon, so I mean we are looking good at the moment. I don't think I'm close enough to go for even a reckless dive on my teammate here, but we are going to get very close into turn 1. This train's being held up by Palmer, I think it is, and then there's another 3-car train just ahead. But we've had a good exit out of turn 1 actually. Nice bit of traction here. Can we go for the dive on Ocon at the inside of turn 2 or turn 3, you could say. Ocon's going to hold it around the outside, both Force Indias side by side. Can I go around the outside of my teammate? He's still on my inside, and he's made it work. Oh, this is great action here, but Ocon defends beautifully, and he's going to hold on to P13 there, so fair play to him. Nice defensive driving, but I've still got the run. I'm going to look up the inside there, but not quite a way through, maybe into the chicane, possibly if we get a good exit out of there. No, we haven't. We've had a shocker, and that is good defensive driving there from my teammate to hold on to 13th place. Well, because of the battle, Ocon now doesn't have a toe on the car in front, so this is going to make it a little bit easier for me in terms of slipstreaming a teammate with a similar sort of pace car as me. But here we go, nice bit of traction and good exit speed out the final corner, sitting deep in the toe of Ocon here. Just going to wait till the last second, and now pull to the inside, get it done on the brakes. Third gear for turn 1 I like, and there we go, Ocon just pulls out the way, lets me through, and there we go, we've got the move done for P13, so let's get a move on now. Ocon's actually lost a heap of time there, something's happened, but now let's focus on the guys ahead. We've got about 7 cars from what I can count, so that's going to promote us up into P7 I believe, or P6, so there's a lot of places to be gained here, and it's a very good finishing position if I can get past all of these cars this race. So let's try and get it, and if I can get from P20 to P7 or P6, that would be a fantastic result for the race. And right now, from what I can see on the screen, the rain has officially stopped, so the track now is basically going to be drying at a rate of knots, but the rain has officially stopped now, so got to keep an eye on the weather. Personal best lap of the race, 35.2. Lewis to set a fast lap of the race, so you can tell the track is drying. It's getting faster, and this is going to get very interesting. I think I can see a Red Bull in there, in that pack of cars. So that is going to be P6 once we get past all these cars, which would be a great result. So let's try and get them here, and let's try and overtake all of these guys, because I like my chances here today. The car feels absolutely fantastic in these conditions. I don't know what it would be like in the dry, so I've got to make these work and got to make these count for myself. Oh, Hulkenberg's locked up. He's locked up again, just like Ericsson has. Wasn't even expecting it, and there we go. Just literally slid through. Hulkenberg just locking it up on the right front into the chicane there. So that just opened the opportunity for me, and I just took it. So there you go. Wasn't even thinking about making a move there, but the opportunity arose, and I took it. So we're now up in the P12. I did say I went to P10 before the dry conditions, and I'm not too far off that. So let's try and push for it. Okay, I'm all over the back of Carlos Sainz. We've got a car in the pit lane. It's a Williams who's coming in. I wonder if he's coming for new inters. If he is, that's a very interesting call, or it might be for dries, but the track is way too wet. Yeah, but either way, a good exit out the final corner into rich mix. Let's make the move on Sainz. So you're going to pull to the inside. Have we got enough power in a straight line? Come on. This just goes to show what the 1111 wings does to you in these tracks, because you lose so much straight line speed with these 2017 cars by running high aero. But we've made the move, and we're now ahead of Sainz, and now behind Romain Grosjean. I'm going to keep it in rich for this lap, because I think I can make a couple of moves here. Grosjean runs a little bit deep there. I think locking up the left front. I'm going to be right on the back of him. I just catch the curb though, and I've gone for a half spin. Not ideal. We're going to have to try and 3-point turn the car, and that is not good at all. Right. Oh, that is not good. 5-second stop go. Severe penalty. What? We had contact with OCON. When did that happen? I didn't even see that. I didn't even feel anything from my steering wheel. Oh no. The team are not going to be happy with me for that one. That is not good. We've lost all the time we gained. It was such a good start to this race as well. Oh no. Right, here we go. I'm going to put into the pit lane. The track feels dodgy, and if I want to make up some time, I've got to roll the dice. The track looks a bit dry in places, so I'm just going to go for it. We've got to stop, go to serve anyway, so... Right, let's have a look then. Teammate also in the pit lane, so Ocon's following me in. I've got a 5-second penalty to serve, so... We're going to have to wait 5 seconds. So there we go. We're going to serve the penalty first. Ocon's going to get held up massively again. So I do apologise, Esteban, but sorry, mate. Right, off we go. 7.6. Onto the soft compound tyres. I'm the first person to go into the dries. It's going to be risky. There is a lot of spray on track still, but I've got to make up some time. I've got to make up some ground. So let's see what the conditions are like, and let's see if we made the right call. So far, it feels okay. Let's see once we get to the dry line what the track's like. And I think it's a bad call. It feels very wet. So, yep, we've gone very early onto this tyre, but we're on it now, so let's try and power through it. Only 1.4 off my PB in the first sector, so the track doesn't feel that bad. I feel like I can get away with these. I was expecting worse, so just a little bit of careful driving, and it'll be perfect for these tyres by the next lap, hopefully. Okay, the track is finally starting to come to me a little bit. Only 1.9 off my PB. Ocon is catching, but my only hope is that the AI actually coming for another set of inters, because I know the AI can be a little bit retarded sometimes. So if they come in for another set of inters, then they will lose a whole pit stop worth of time, and that's going to help me. And also, they'll have to pit again for dries, and I'll be right back in this race. So right now, the track is coming to me. This lap's going to be very marginal. Pretty much, I'm going to match my personal best, I think. So it's going to be thereabouts. So the track is coming, and let's hope for the best now. Okay, I was 6/10 down in the first sector. I matched my PB in the second, and have I improved in the third? Yes, I have by a tenth. So now the track is coming to me officially. So now I'm going to start. I've already gained 3 seconds in that last lap on Pascal Verlaine ahead. So now these are the laps I've got to push. So let's try and make this count. No mistakes. I've got to be absolutely perfect now for this lap. Oh, there you go. DRS enabled. That's normally the official sign. What's interesting though is some cars have come in for inters. Some have stayed out. I don't think anyone's actually coming for dries. There's been a few people in pit stops, including Lewis Hamilton and whatnot, but I don't think they're coming in for dries. I mean, look at Ericsson. He's in the pit lane. He's gone into another set of inters. So I'm going to have one more chance here to make these dry tyres work. So this lap is absolutely critical now, and I'm actually going to use rich mix because this lap is really, really important. So let's push now. This lap's going to gain us a lot of time. Right, should be fast up of the race. Everybody's in the pit lane. Where are we going to rejoin? Let's have a look. We're currently in P12. We've got a few people just exiting into turn 1 here. So right now it's looking good for us. We've made up a lot of time. So we're back into a net P12. A few cars on mediums, which I'm guessing are going to the end of the race. I'm going to do one more stop for super softs. So I'm going very aggressive into the end of the race on my tyre compounds here. So let's try and put these soft tyres to work and get past Palmer, who's on the mediums. Okay, I'm actually pretty quick in these conditions. Obviously, I'm used to them, so that's obviously helping me out. But I'm pretty quick, so we're going to make some moves as we get up the inside of Palmer into the penultimate corner. Just sticking my nose in. He's going to try and stick around the outside. I'm going to just save it. Just about a little slap of oversteer there, but Now we're going to have DRS on Magnussen to get us into the top 10 and into the points. And finally we're back where we was before having our incident, though. We just tapped the back of Magnussen, though, so yellow on the end plate damage, which is going to help, but we should be okay. We've got our cars in the pit lane here, so we've got to be careful. It's Roman Grosjean, the other Haas car. We're going to go up the inside of K-Mag. Oh, he's still on my outside. Just going to try and squeeze the traction on, open up the DRS, and there we go. We're up into P10, and now let's try and go after Grosjean, and let's see if we've got the pace on this broken front wing. Okay, I've pushed up into rich mix. So far the pace is good. The front wing damage is limiting me slightly. If I didn't have that damage, I think I could catch the 2 cars ahead of me. I am catching them because the Williams in front of the Haas is going a bit slow, which is holding up Grosjean. Grosjean's got some incredible pace. So the longer the Williams stays in front, the better for me. I've cranked up to rich mix to use what I have left, and I'm now pushing as hard as I can. And the lap times are constantly tumbling, but I'm pushing as hard as I can. And while I've got the rich mix, to see if I can have half a chance of catching these two. This is going to be the only chance I'm going to get of getting a P8. The longer that Williams stays in front of Grosjean, the better. But Grosjean is literally pushing him through the final corner. But going to continue on here. The pace is good. I'm going to need a safety car or VSC. I think tyre-wise, I think I'm going to stay to the end on these tyres. I think I can make it. So that's sort of limiting me in a way, like I said, to P10. But we are catching. Grosjean is losing a bit of time now behind that Williams. I've just started to pull away from Palmer now. The rich mix really helping me out. I've got about 2 more laps left of that, so let's put it to good use and let's see if we can get them. Grosjean and I think that's the Williams. I can't tell if it's Massa or Stroll, but they're having a good old battle there, so they're losing a bit of time, and I am starting to catch them. Another personal best, 26.3. I'm going faster and faster every lap. I'm getting there. I think I'll be within DRS this lap. Right, another personal best, but they're actually starting to pull away from me a little bit. I'm a little bit concerned. I wonder if they're going to find a bit more pace because of basically the complete front wing, which is what I'm lacking. But I'm not going to give up. I'm going to still keep trying, but I'm about to run out of rich mix. Oh, Lewis Hamilton's out of the race. Oh, wow. And Stroll and Grosjean just lost a lot of time, so this is going to give me a chance to maybe get within DRS. This is going to be my last chance to get within a second, so I need to be perfect through here. Am I within a second? I think I am. Yes, I am. I've got DRS. Right. This is going to be my last chance. We're going to gain a position from Hamilton, who's now out of the Hungarian Grand Prix, which is a big, big shock. And now let's see what we can do. Grosjean's actually making the move on Stroll this time, finally. So let's make a move here, try and benefit from this. These two are battling. Stroll is on the mediums. Grosjean's made the move, though, and he's got past him. So now I've got to be very quick on the tail of these two. Stroll's going to probably stick with Grosjean because of the straight line speed he has. I wonder how much life Grosjean's got in them soft tyres. Probably quite a lot, because, I mean, I'm still on them. So I think the best we can do is get past Stroll and also recover Hamilton's position, who retired from the race. So here we go, getting a nice run through the yellow flags. Hamilton's just retired on the side here, so we can't make any overtakes just yet. There's Lewis, so heartbreak for him in the track where he's been so dominant in the past. But right, come on, let's try and get past Stroll now. We've got a chance of getting P8. 24.3. The lap times are still pretty good. I'm pretty competitive in these changing conditions. Grosjean's absolutely bolted, but I'm still within DRS of Stroll here, so I think I can get him. I've just got to be good through the corners, through this lap, and hopefully be much closer to him by the end of the next lap here. Oh, now Van Dorn is out of the Hungarian Grand Prix. I've saved a little bit of fuel again, so I'm going to use this lap in rich one more time and use the rich mixture this lap to really gain on Stroll, because that's the only way I'm going to catch him. So I need the rich mixture to actually make the move and also get closer to him, because we're basically equal for pace. What I make up in the corners, he makes up in the straights. So hopefully the rich mix, I can counteract that and I can get closer to this lap. So we're going to dip into the negative by the end of this lap, but hopefully it does help me and I can be much closer to him by the end of this lap. Oh, this is so frustrating. I just can't get close enough. I'm going faster and faster, but I just can't get him. He's just too quick in the straights. I just really can't do it. I'm going to have to go down the standard now and save fuel majorly by the end of the race. I'm going to have to go into lean also. I'm going to try and keep up with him and pass him on standard, but it's going to be very unlikely, I think. Okay, I've dropped right off from Lance Stroll now after literally just giving up on the pursuit. And now Kevin Magnussen is behind me and he's within DRS, so it's going to be a very tense couple of laps here, just defending from K-Mag here. And I've got to try and save the fuel because I'm still under, only just 0.08, so I've got a little bit of saving to do this lap and the next one. Okay, out the final corner until the last lap of the race now. Alright, a pretty good exit out there. Here goes Magnussen with DRS wide open. I'm going to go to the inside, try and squeeze him a little bit, try and fight him on the last lap of the race here. The front wing damage is starting to really affect me now through the corners for the downforce with the really worn tyres, but we've defended nicely around the outside there. Nice and comfortable, and Magnussen not really committed to a major move there, but he is pretty quick. I think he must have had an issue earlier because he was going very slowly earlier when I passed him, but he seems to have fixed it now. Meanwhile, Bottas wins for Mercedes, so that's a big win for him. He's first of the season, I believe, and making up for lost points after Lewis Hamilton retired earlier, but we've got a battle on our hands here with Bottas this lap, with Magnussen, sorry. Right, here we go through the final corner. Magnussen tried, but he just ran out of laps. So here we go. Taking nice and easy at the final corner. Bring it home, P9, and I'm very happy with that. Scoring a couple of points and beating my teammate. And considering, I was backwards twice this race, and I started from the back. That's not too bad. We beat at Williams as well, so not too shabby. And a pretty damn good race with a couple of good points that come with it. So overall, a really good Grand Prix, and the new engine part's paying off. I wish I could have put them to better use because I feel like I had some good pace there. I definitely could have at least been P6, like behind the one Mercedes, 2 Ferraris and 2 Red Bulls. I could have easily been best of the rest of that race and got some solid points, but nonetheless, Bottas wins it for Mercedes, so congratulations to him, and I think he's going to have 2 Ferraris to either side of him on the podium. But overall, a very good race, and I actually really enjoyed that one. A lot of fighting for the field, a lot of grinding away, trying to set some good lap times, and that battle at the end there, really trying to eke out every single last bit of performance out of my car to try and get past Stroll, but it's just not good enough. But as you can see, looking at the podium, it's actually Verstappen who finished second, so there you go, fair play to him. So Verstappen there doing a good result, excelling in these mixed conditions. But Bottas wins it for Mercedes, and Seb Vettel brings it up in P3, so I'm going to guess Kimi Raikkonen probably finished in either P4 or P5 with Daniel Ricciardo in the mix there somewhere. But overall, that was a very, very solid race, very enjoyable race, and we're now going to move into the final race results, drivers and constructors standings. Now looking at the final race results, Bottas wins it from Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel, with Kimi Raikkonen in P4 and then Daniel Ricciardo in P5. With Carlos Sainz in a very impressive P6 there for Toro, so fair play to him, very good job using the one-stop strategy to his advantage. And then Romain Grosjean in P7 for Haas, very good result for him there, with Stroll in 8th, myself in 9th, and Kevin Magnussen rounding out the points there, with the big ones at the bottom, Lewis Hamilton DNF from the race, and Ocon. Unfortunately, my fault, I put my hands up, I've watched the incident back, my mistake, so I take blame for that. He finished in P16, but in terms of the driver standings, as you can see, I'm now 24 points ahead of Ocon, so luckily I didn't gain too much on my teammates, so I don't think he'd be too angry with me for that. However, the team might have lost out on a double points finish. Either way, we was pretty far back. Luckily, I had some good pace in the race compared to the rest of the weekend, and as you can see, looking at the constructors now, we are still comfortably P4. I mean, we're completely the 4th best team on the grid right now. We do consistently get the results, we do consistently get points, and that is what you got to do as a team. But overall, that was Hungary. Right, so here on the R&D tree, and we're just going to quickly do a few upgrades because obviously we've done that race, we've got 1,500 points to spend, so going into the next race at Spa, I feel like I want to really push the rear downforce on the car a little bit, so we're going to go for a rear downforce upgrade, and that should take 1 week to do. In theory, Belgium is 4 weeks away in real life. I don't know if that's how it works in the game, but hopefully I'll have that for Belgium. I don't know. Wait and see. And then after that upgrade, we're going to go for the front wing, which we only need basically, once we finish practice in Belgium, we'll purchase this one. Then we'll have the 2 upgrades on their way. So they should both be here, hopefully by Monza if we're lucky. Because it'll only take 1 week to develop. So by then we'll have some nice downfalls on the car, and we should be in line with McLaren and Toro Rosso after these 2 upgrades. So we are starting to make some progress down in the aero department after getting a few department upgrades in terms of their speed and also reliability. Things are looking good for us now. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of Career Mode. If you have, then please do smash the like button. Also let me know in the comments down below how I can improve these videos, what you're liking of this series so far. And yeah, other than that, guys, leave a big like on the video, try and subscribe to my channel if you're new around here for plenty of F1 content, and yeah, also there'll be a video regarding the 10,000 subscriber milestone very soon. And also, if you haven't missed any of the videos on screen, then I do urge you to go check them if you haven't done so already. But I thank you guys ever so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.